I'm putting on my lipstick.
Yes. Drinking my Diet Coke. I bet we've both had to edit video before.
Oh, I thank God that I have Kevin for that.
Oh, amazing.
I accepted that at the beginning of OYA Group. I was like, oh, no, esto no es para mí. This shit is no. This is not for me. I don't understand this, and I don't want to make this shit pretty.
Do you want it to be pretty? Are you interested in pretty as an artist?
Yeah, but other people could deal with that part in the art. I'm like, I'm not the director for that. When I get hired as a director, I'll look at that and I'll look at your art and making sure that it has that production worthy prettiness. But I think I'm more in love with just the process, especially now after like COVID and seeing all the craziness of like art buying.
Yeah.
And what all these institutions are going into to like try to like figure out a show. I'm like, yeah, I don't like the selling part. I know that is needed, and fuck that. We all want to get paid. But yeah, through COVID, I figured out that I'm like, oh, I'm in love with like finding out that I can catch a saint in a process. That was lovely. I'm in love with having a black body and a white body arguing it out during a rehearsal, and then never again speaking to each other. And then I see both those people in the future, and they're both in their own great world, and was like, oh, I learned from that. And knowing that them two never will connect, it's also beautiful. So like I'm realizing through all of this that is now, I guess, being asked by work from big institutions, where I'm like, oh, damn. It's cool. I love making the shit and all of this. Yeah, it's cool, but I want my 4-year process. I don't want to just have a year with this. I'm sorry. I know that y'all commissioning me for this. It takes me 4 years.
So how are they responding? What have you said? It takes 4 years?
I've been fortunate enough that now Taxilandia already has all the work done. So I've invested most of that money into that. So it's a moment where like when I come to the table now, I'm like, I wasn't here for 9 years. This is too much money. Nigga, this mine's. Before it was like a like thankful to be in the space and I'm able to have my art up. Even if it's like here's $3,000 for some shit that's a month long. Like a lot of that, where just happy to be in the space, and like a lot of emotional weight to like just be in the space and like be happy that I guess I'm welcome.
Yes.
And then I realized through like this weird COVID shit that I'm like, oh, I've been canning my shit. But through all these weird, right? I don't have a manager. I don't use an agent. So all those barrier or blockades to make sure that niggas don't fuck with your art.
Yeah.
Because that's the dance, and I understand it. We all even in the drug game, it's the same shit as a hustle. I've realized after taking all the emotional shit away from the art, I'm like, oh, nah, nigga, we all selling shit. Yeah, what's up? I don't want to do that. What's up? Nah, you talking emotional labor. That doesn't make sense to the development part. What are you talking about? $2,000 for 2 shows? What about the lighting designer? This person, that person, this person, this. So now I'm just like, I'm doing that in meetings where I'm like, you bugging. I'm not leaving out of here with all that emotional weight on me. You thinking that I know this costs this much.
Yes.
So it's bullshit for you to invite somebody into a room to ask them to give you that when you know the real number. So I'm realizing like, yeah, I choose not to play in that anymore. Like I just won't. I'll let you know straight up that 5,000 you're saying, that's development. My man, don't ask me for nothing after that. You helped me develop a piece because you said you were interested in my shit.
Yes.
That doesn't mean I should give you a presentation, nothing. Learn how to like collaborate then, because what you're saying is a presentation, even if it's 10 minutes.
Yes.
and something has to be polished. And so all those weird worlds that I was used to feeling happy and welcome and
Mm,
not understanding that it was just really exploitation.
mm.
I'm like, oh nah, I'm good. Like I understand y'all all broke, y'all nonprofits in New York, especially in New York City. And I understand that some of y'all have a weird ass $1 million budget, but y'all still broke. Uh I don't know how y'all got yourselves there, but I don't do those. I'm sorry. I live in reality and I don't longer choose to partake in that. That's really weird that we do that to each other as people that love creating from our mind.
So is that changing the people who you are like wanting to talk to? Is it changing how you talk in those and like the language of spreadsheets and
I'm just not. That's not my business. I'm literally going in, telling you the first moment when we're doing the art, like, yo, you want my shit? Cool. Is this? Uh, I did the numbers. You were asking me to create that. It has these many characters. It needs all this development. Right now, I just need writing time. Don't ask me for anything else. Just being blunt, like really blunt. Where like, I can't have you leave here assuming anything about me or my art. I don't play that game anymore about just emotional like, nigga, we doing it. We doing it together?
mm,
My man. We're both walking in the building and doing what we wanted to do since kids. Yeah, nah, fuck that. There's a rent to be paid in that building. There's a rent that I need to pay. There's workers that I need to pay.
yes.
I don't ever want to put like I canceled 4 festivals I was running out of OJ Group after I realized what I was doing. I thought I was giving people a platform to like exposure and a small check and hiring a team for them and paying that team so they don't even got to worry about it. And then I realized that, oh shit, Flock, you keeping that system alive, my nigga. You
Yeah,
literally are giving these niggas a small ass stipend, a
yeah.
video, a couple of pictures. Some of them ain't never had that. Okay, cool. But nigga, you got Eliza Bent on here, nigga, and you giving her that? You bugging, bro. This is like 2015. And
Mm.
me doing that assessment in like 2018 and being like, bro, what are you doing to your fellow actors and like to those newcomers from the hood that actually want to be in the game? So yeah, don't do that. If you can't pay a person $1,000 to take them upstate to NACL to write a poem that's in the script you want her to be in, you can't. You shouldn't. Like, there's no other
Don't
way.
do the project or
You
don't do the
shouldn't. You
festival.
don't do it. It's not a. You're asking people to like devote their fucking time and energy and like. Shout out to Jessica Almalsi for telling me you don't have to write outside the room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not paying you for that. That was the first time I ever heard that, and I've been performing since 9 years old.
Yeah.
That was in through Jill's piece,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a team
Petrie
principle.
Project Gangsterness.
Yeah, just like the writing in part because it was so uneven who did the work outside the room. And it meant that, often like in the early years, I would do all of this editing and stuff, and it would make for really inequitable
Yeah,
um distribution of like the text, which is supposed to be very egalitarian.
yeah.
It's hopefully
All
aiming for
together, yeah.
horizontal. And so it's kind of become a practice that we pay rather than any ever. It's interesting for reconstruction, we're talking about like commissioning the Weaver Committee to try
Yeah, I
to do
peeped
this
that. I
work.
peeped that. It's really it. I haven't been in those process, right? Like where nothing happens outside the room.
Yeah.
Dog, you're not. Nothing happens outside the room. You're gonna write a poem that's gonna be in Lumberyard. Sure. We're taking you up there. You got your per diems. You got your shit. Rock out, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can leave whenever you want to leave. We're workshopping. We don't know what this is. Like that reality doesn't really happen in these residencies. It's off the bat. So I'm like, shout out to New York Theater Workshop for that Adelphi residency, right? Where they were like, I was like, I don't know, I don't want to put that, I want to put that. They were like, you don't have to, bro. Chill, my nigga. Échate pa' allá with that energy. We don't want to see anything. We just happy you writing, nigga. We see your excitement of being in a campus writing. We saw your Instagram posting all the pictures of you put up on the wall. Make sure you don't peel the paint. That might be an issue. Like that, it hasn't happened much. That doesn't come with like, yo, my man, we need you to dance.
Right.
And I get that that's what the grant that they got requires for them to submit. And it's this weird shit of like, how do we challenge that shit, bro?
Okay, so this is the conversation I was just having with me and Jenny Coons and Lear DeBestonay,
Yeah.
who I've been talking with pretty deeply, and also Jeremy O'Harris, in and out, though he wasn't in
The
this.
young OG out here fucking up the game the proper way.
Well, talking about a new version of the Federal Theater Project. And we were talking with the Be an Arts Hero folks who are doing incredible lobbying. But the fundamental problem of how do you, like, okay, if there are organizations and institutions which we could name or not name, support either way, but that have not gotten money into the places where there needs to be money and needs to be art services, like just thinking about the arts.
Yeah.
So if the federal government, hopefully under a new Biden administration, is gonna push a whole bunch of money out, how do they get it to OYA Group or to another group that is OYA Group 10 years ago?
Yeah.
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 What do you think?
That's crazy exciting. How do you get it to that? How do you get it to OJ Group 10 years ago? Wow. How do you get it to actually what would have been Brooklyn Gypsies? Because the
Yeah,
name,
like, right.
how do you get, yeah, but that's the moment of like the let's say the Bushwick Star smaller nonprofit, right? And like El Puente organization that it's been there for 70 years, but doesn't put on main stage productions and might not have that through line
Mm,
to that bag, is those community connections, right? Where like they know who's performing and they know the art and they know that nonprofit that's hasn't been that is not a nonprofit but should be, and they don't have the time to fill out that paperwork.
they don't have the time, right? Like, and how do
Right?
you
They
not
don't
create
know how
paperwork?
long it takes to fill out that paperwork.
Yes.
So it what? Come on, OJ Group. It took 8 years.
So do you find, like, is it about, and I'm trying to figure out the problem, like the problem I'm thinking about today in this moment is how do you find enough Bushwick stars if like the NEA maybe can't find the OYA group, and the NEA is a lot of paperwork, like a
Yeah,
fucking lot of
yeah,
paperwork.
yeah.
And uh, so how do you find enough, and are there enough Bushwick stars, certainly both in Bushwick, but also in like Lexington, Kentucky, or wherever? I've never been to Lexington, Kentucky. I don't know why I said that, but like,
Yeah. It's like, well, uh,
how do you find
um,
the individuals?
I I really I want to say whatever that Bush, because now we're saying Bushwick Star, whatever that local theater, because there is one, right? Whatever they have that moment to like really step out of their bubble and go into the block. Like you have to go into the community center and go into the spot that's not a theater, but you know they're going to be theater heads in there because that's the one community center. El Puente is not a theater hub, but El Puente puts on plays throughout the whole year,
Mm,
right? So it's that moment of finding that institution that already knows how to apply for grants, do this, do that, do the other, that is theater based, to
yeah,
then amplify that El Puente platform and become their kind of weird admin because you already have that salary based employee.
right.
So it's that moment of like, I was fortunate enough that I was knocking on doors and I was interning in all the new places that were popping up in Bushwick because I was like, hold up, you wasn't here when I was adapting Shakespeare. What is this?
Mm,
Hi. And where's my bottle of water? So it becomes that moment of like, get the fuck out the bubble, bro. I was talking about the same shit in the Bennington weird group that we're having doing this work type of work also. Where we go into the separate groups and we start talking about the bubble because we all have a bubble. And Bennington has a whoo. Bennington bubble is classic. That shit is whoo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm really struck by the fact that you walked in through their doors. Like we've been talking a lot about the model of community health centers, which not just don't just receive the people who walk into their doors, but often are like going out and finding the people who
Yeah.
are in their quote unquote community, however you define community, um, and and are not entering through the doors.
Wait, I lost you. My bad. Go back.
It's all good. Like, uh, I was just saying how lucky it was for, well, for the star and for, it sounds like you were already maybe at El Puente.
No,
But
I weirdly was I started a weird homeschool situation in Bushwick when gentrification came.
mm,
With my old ass mentor, who you always gotta pass your mentor, so shit might happen. Um, yeah, I like started an after school program, writing sanctuary,
mm,
and our philosophies were different. I'm not cool with you trying to teach a nigga Latin on sand.
yeah.
I'm like, my man, we don't know what that sound like in the hood. This nigga don't know what ABC is in English, and you're trying to teach him Latin. We
Mm,
gotta we gotta work back here. There's other steps here that you need to be able to accept that my peoples need, and it's not fucking Latin on a bucket of sand, my nigga.
mm.
Like, what is this? I'm sorry, but no. And that's how we found the star, because the star left their bubble and said, we found a grant to go teach eco playwriting. Let's go talk to people. And figured, and like they knocked at, we didn't even have a sign.
How did they find you?
That's what I'm saying. We did not have a sign. They found us though. They went into the building, and
Yeah,
then all of a sudden they brought in another company with them to like make sure that eco playwriting's been happening in Bushwick for the last 10 years.
yeah. That's the Big Green
The
Festival.
Big Green Theater, yeah. Like it's expanded now to multiple schools. The conversations of the star growing, another company growing, being supported to grow and now be themselves, which are under Superhero Clubhouse, now can go and do this under because now they have their own shit. They
Mm,
got trained for 10 years by another company. So it's this moment of like support is real, bruh.
mm,
Like support is real, and that rotating system of every 3 weeks you got a new show because it didn't extend later, nigga, is it's that's real also. That system is mad real because niggas need to pay their rent, especially in New York City. It's
mhm.
bananas that rent. So it's really fucking yeah. It's such a complicated fucking system where like you want to make sure you pay your rent, but you're applying for project based shit only. Like it's bananas. It's like what get that admin money up for that building.
Right. Do you, in your fantasy, is that would you love OYA Group to have its own full-time admin, or would you rather be in like under an umbrella of
No,
X?
no, 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 no. I have my already nonprofit. I have my, I'm building, I'm trying to find and build the team. And I've understood throughout talking to all these bosses, being accepting as a rotating one, it's like it's just gonna keep rotating. The people that will work for the company is just gonna keep happening. Accept that, keep it moving, and find people that, while they're there, they do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, nothing else matters, nigga, because you're not there for that's legacy shit. That's there to make sure the block got signed that
Mm-hmm.
it didn't have when you were there. Like it's sad to say, like gentrification been in my hood before I started being woke about it, but the people weren't putting up art for us to see. I was walking into some shit, bro. When I came back from Bennington, where I'm like, oh, there's art here. Whoa, that's what's up. Oh, you still getting your iPhone taken? All right, cool. We still in Bushwick.
Mm,
Respect it. But I was walking into like weird lofts where they smashing grapes and all this shit, and I'm geeking out with it because I'm like, yo, this white boy bugging. He got the balls to do that in Bushwick, and I've been to the show that then when they walk outside they get beat up.
mm,
Like I've understood both sides, right? Where I'm like, my man, you are without a shirt on the corner of Park Ave and Broadway, and people are doing K2 right now. You can't come outside without a shirt and talk freely, thinking that we are in fucking Renaissance. What you doing, bruh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Somebody got trauma.
yeah,
You without a shirt means they're about to fight or something.
yeah.
So it was that moment that when I was first being like, oh shit, gentrification's in my neighborhood. This is crazy. This is great. And wait, why my friend is mad? Oh shit, I get it. Okay, damn. Okay, let me try to put up art about it.
And
And
so
that's
that in part is Taxilandia, yeah?
Taxilandia and everything I fucking put up actually. Like down to the first 10-minute piece I put up was like a dope fiend being mad on stage that gentrifiers are around and not saying hi.
Mm,
That was my first 10-minute piece at the Bushwick Star coming back. Me being like, yo, can I try something in this festival y'all got?
mm,
And I got paid 250 for 10 minutes. And I was like on a high. Cause before that I got exploited as fuck in some regional theater upstate where I get cast to be a store owner and inherit the win that whole that's the whole political like science like crazy teacher.
yeah, teaching creationism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that shit, I'm in that, and I'm like, wait, why am I the black nigga with a store, but I don't ever get to go in my store, and I just sweep outside.
Mm,
And the check I framed, still have it, $125 for so many shows, and it did an extension. And I was just like, God damn, this is. And they were like, yo, but equity, and I was like, I'll never join that machinery. Y'all niggas bugging.
mm,
Y'all bugging. I'm sorry. Just how many things I need to do so I could get health insurance? My nigga, I already did school. What the fuck?
yeah.
So all those systems that I'm just like, bro, I come from the streets. Language is real to me, and language means death if you lie to me. From
Yeah.
where the world that I survive and the money I was making.
Yeah.
So when it comes now to like I'm sitting in front of people that are telling me one thing language, and my nigga, I teach Shakespeare. I choose to speak like this. You pay me to be that vessel. If
Mm,
not, I'm not giving you that tongue. Fuck you mean. So it becomes that for me. That is like, oh, you expect me to talk a certain type of way just because we're in this type of setting.
mm,
My nigga, you haven't paid for that. I'm sorry, I'm an actor. I went to school for this. You got to pay me for that. Unless I'm emotionally invested because I love Furry, La Furia, that William Burke is going to let me get a play he wrote with a white man in mind, and I can adapt it in Spanish and Spanglish for my neighborhood, and we could both put it up together and fail and be like, dog, all we got is $3,000 to figure this shit out. Okay, we could do that for my neighborhood. I'll take that emotional labor with me.
yeah. Yeah.
But anything else is just fucking ridiculous, my nigga. You went to school, I went to school. We both know reality. Stop bullshitting. You might have not taken a budget class, but I sold drugs. I know what the fuck is a pack.
Yeah.
So don't come to me with that emotional, like, oh my nigga, we got 2,500 for you to do this and this and this. I'm done with the okie doke.
So how much do you want to be in those spaces if they're paying properly?
I don't know, because I'm not here to teach you. Like you're only asking me for shit of color. The first person that asked me for something for fun was Megan Finn from the Tank. When she was at 3LD, she let me put up my like the last night of the Palladium and let me take over the building for 2 weeks to put a fucking party on where I
Mm,
could like geek out and bring back Warhol, Basquiat, and all these crazy characters that was New York City before like they were yelling at the Latino. So like that moment, it was a moment where I was like, oh shit, people do trust me. It's not just you don't just want my color or me dancing on your stage,
yeah. Yeah.
right? So like that beautiful moment when Canese is calling me up to like, yo, let's travel the world and do some shit, bro, for this homie that did all these years.
Mm,
Let's talk about mass incarceration and like this man doing 33 years in jail
yes.
while we're trying to put up a sitcom because they don't let us play sitcom characters. Yo, I'm like, what the fuck? Yes, please, yes. Can you put more words like that in my fucking leg? Come on, please.
Mm,
Yes, I want to do that, but with my peoples, bro. Don't invite me to don't invite me to create a play for your institution when you ain't not one person of color on your shit, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like and yes, we can go back and forth to like, but aren't you an artist and you're supposed to do everything? But no, nigga, the percentages are not the same. You have only asked me. When we look at it, I've gotten 2% of like for me to put up all my other crazy shit that you don't expect me to have. Then everything else is 98% nigga my color or me doing some weird ass white face shit, channeling Sammy Sosa and Hamlet.
I saw
Because I
that.
need to show you how complicated that bitch is.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, man, it's this game is bananas, foolery. The drug game is more real to me because niggas is telling you the truth.
Mm.
Niggas ain't sitting across from you on a beautiful desk with a nice shirt on, bullshitting you. The dude is telling you, yo, here's 1,000 grams. You got to bring back 60K for that. You heard?
Yeah.
You could do whatever you want to that, but the 60 got to come back. Bye.
Mm.
Niggas ain't talking that. Niggas like they're giving you here's 2,500. Now go find the other 67.5. Like, what are you talking about? You go to school for fundraising, my nigga.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck is an Indiegogo? Now I gotta figure out how to load up an Indiegogo with perks. My man, respect the system. Like, respect what you're asking for.
Yeah. Right. Right. That's
It's
a good way of putting it. Yeah.
like those are the moments where I'm like, I don't know how to have a conversation with y'all when I'm in the building, because that's not the language you're saying some shit, and I'm listening to you, and I'm like, oh, you're in the intellectual talk shit right now. You're in that white box for me. You're in the academic jargon shit that you're just like hopeful preaching. We're doing great. Don't talk to me like that. Let's talk facts.
Yeah.
How much your budget, bro? Your budget 5? That's development talk, my nigga. Because a presentation means at least 150K,
Totally.
and that's 2 weeks to keep depending the amount of bodies and making sure you're paying actually equitable.
Yeah. Totally.
So it's that moment of people not wanting to have that real talk of like, yo, my man, don't call no artist up for a presentation if you ain't got 150K, and stop asking an artist to fundraise and be his own producer.
Yeah.
Even if you invited him to the table as a presenter, do not ask that nigga to fundraise, bro. That's not his job. Like you are the one needing his twerk. Now you're telling him, hey, yo, I'm gonna need you to like put them costumes on them twerk too, though. I'm gonna just make sure that the rent is paid in the building that you're gonna, because this 10,000 I'm giving you, I'm taking back 7 point something for the people in the, and I'm just like, yo, do y'all hear the okie doke y'all preaching? That does make it makes no sense for you to give me 30,000 to develop my shit and then be like, half of that for my rent though.
Right.
That's a lot of these fucking grants.
Interesting.
Where I'm like, yo, how you gonna give me 30K and then tell me that I have to pay your rent for that 3 weeks or 4 weeks?
So
That doesn't make any sense.
so
I'm a drug dealer. I don't know that talk.
yeah.
Or a former drug dealer just being like, I don't know that. That's not, you're selling me cut, bro. You're selling me baking soda.
Yeah.
And then telling me that you got a raw product when I know you don't. You got the 4 walls and a grid. I gotta bring the lights in and the person that designs that. And
Yeah.
you're telling me that, come on, my nigga, you
Yeah.
bugging, bro. Don't speak to me like that. I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand that language
Yeah.
because you're lying and you don't know how to accept that to yourself.
So where are the places? So you and it's not so much I'm asking you to name, like we've talked about El Puente, the Bushwick Star, you shout out New York Theater Workshop. We talked a little bit about Reconstruction.
Shout out to Target Margin. Them niggas turned they shit real quick. Shout out to Abrams for turning their fucking stage, their main stage, into a goddamn fridge.
Yeah.
It is a fridge. Shout out to John. John, how you made a fridge, bro? We ain't go to school for that.
Yeah.
But as artists, we adapt.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is like, what are the places, and you could use some of those examples or just talk in the abstract, like
Yeah.
where you want to put yourself. and your
Uh,
powers?
I don't know yet. I
Mm,
want to put myself at OJ Group and that's it
mm,
for a while and like respect that like I don't need to build somebody else's name right now because that's really what's happening. It's like unless you're willing to pick up my product exactly how I'm telling you, and
mm,
you're not asking me to do any fundraising and any like moments that when we sit down, you're like, but my nigga, what's the but? We already had the first talk, and I told you how much it was, and I gave you the pitch deck, bro. And at the end of that pitch deck, it said a price.
mm.
So respect that. Don't call me back if you're not. If call me back with what it is, yo, my nigga. We only got this, bro. And don't call me back wholly. We're like, well, you could get this, because then that's the type of talk that we get. That like, know your language, my nigga. Don't speak to me like that. Watch your tongue, bro. You already courted me to give you some art, so court me the proper way, my nigga. Pull out the chair, pull up the wine, bro. Get the grapes. Tell me I could put a bottle on my rider, and you ain't gonna feel some type of way. Because we need a moment of relaxation after we perform and we
Yeah.
carry trauma in our body. But it's all bananas. It's the okie doke. So I say, Abrams, shout out to Abrams.
Yeah.
Because in times of need, I didn't have to apply for them to give. They're
Mm,
like, yo, you've been giving us curriculums for our poetries and all of this. You're in Ohio putting whiteface on, doing a shit with gangsta ass Canesa. But then you're in your room writing a curriculum for the shelter that we need over here. You were doing that. You ain't had to do that, bro. Because we ain't even had the bag like that. And you said, because always they come straight with it, though. That's the one thing that I could say about that building.
about Abrams?
They have always come straight. Hey, yo, my man, I got this product for you, bro. What's up? Hey, yo, my nigga, you came late after we already gave up that bag.
Mm,
Oh, word? Nah, my man, I still need that product here in this timeline. I choose that. So I need that whole bag, though. There's no door money for you. That's all me. We good? Oh, you gonna still do it? I'm like, yeah, nigga, I'm keeping all the money, so I'm risking that. That's me. I'm taking that. He's like, word? I'm like, I choose that, nigga. I know that your building comes with a New York Times write-up. I know it comes with this, and some of these actors ain't never had that. Some of these people in here need that. That director ain't never had a New York Times review. You gave him that building
mm.
because we chose that together. We chose it together. You didn't put it on my lap to go figure it out. You know, so those moments is like, and you hear the trauma,
Yeah.
right? You hear it's been 10 years as an adult that I said, oh, I'm going to choose this as my career. I I don't want to do that other thing as my career. I don't just want to be in the room teaching kids. I'm oh, I was oh, okay, I wanted to do that because it helps my neighborhood, cool, blah blah blah. But I want this. I've always wanted that. I've always wanted to do all of that. So cool, fail forward and figure it out. Oh, you didn't graduate, so you're gonna like do a little bit of dancing because these people have invested fucking years in college, bro. You left. So at least invest. Let's see what it is. All right, cool. I see that it costs this much to pay these people's building. Cool. Yo, Bushwick Star, that's your rent, right? Hold that. I want to put on my book launch. Cool.
Mm,
I'm gonna bring a whole bunch of hood niggas in here.
mm,
They need to know that they artists, and this is the theater space now in my community.
yeah.
And then I get to put on my book launch that I self-published, and at the end of the day, I left with $1 out the building after everybody got paid. But I smoked that blunt after, feeling like, oh, did I just produce something?
I was going to ask if you ever wanted to run a building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, uh, yo, I'm a Wooster Group baby,
Mm,
right? So I'm a Wooster Group baby. I want to take care of my tribe. Fuck
mm,
the noise from outside. I'm taking care of my tribe.
mm,
The talks are gonna happen. The conversation, like I want to geek out with whatever it is, and then all that political correct shit we could not taken away from whatever racist shit needs happening in the world and people are doing. That's them. That's they vote. Fuck that. Hold your weight. That's your weight.
yeah.
But I want to be able to geek out and experiment, not thinking any political correct shit, and just like have fun. For that to happen, I need a building
Mm,
because every other building that has invited me in outside of the buildings that I have mentioned have asked me to follow these guidelines and create this thing. So It's
Interesting.
like, now through a pandemic, Abrams hit me up. We're like, yo, you working on anything? I'm like, well, I'm trying to like do some healing and like do this dementia shit about my mother that I'm starting to work at the Petrie Project,
Yeah.
which this is my challenge for that, right? Where I challenge all three of these institutions that are giving me a residency right now to like just take a 20-minute video that I want to make about the objects that I have of my mother.
Mm,
And that's it. You don't get my skin.
mm,
I'm still developing here. You
yes.
shouldn't have me. You shouldn't see any of my trauma on your stage.
Mm,
Yeah, it's not there yet. So that development for me to be able to like call up all these people and be like, yo, this is what's happening. Your template, it's not working. It's not what I'm gonna do. It
yes.
doesn't make sense for me to like curate something for your 20-minute performance at the end.
Mm.
That's in itself its own presentation. So that means I gotta now think about something else after that.
Right. I have to make a whole nother show that is a 20-minute
It,
show that feels good.
right? Like now I gotta add another 20 minutes to that 20 minutes and somehow figure out that bang that I gave your 20 minutes just as a lift in the bump. No, 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 that's too much. That's not what I'm trying to create. So I'm like challenging those boxes now with even Taxilandia, where I'm like, bro, it's Zoom. I don't make film. What you talking about? I didn't go to school for film. So I'm gonna have a conversation about gentrification. You wanna
Mm,
fuck with me? That's what you could get. Let's talk about gentrification. Yeah, it's happening in your circuit, right? You as a gentrifying or whatever the fuck institution you are,
yes.
it's around you. Usually, if you're a theater company, it's around you. So call your artists up that are working on it. You don't know any, that means you fucking up. Go do the work. And then we
Mm,
can sit down and do the work together. Step one before we get to the art, respect the process.
yes.
Which is people are not enjoying that. And like, don't ask me to have a panel for $50. Respect my years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Respect my years, bro. Pay like you're paying. Pay how it weighs. I'm able to pay artists in San Diego a big ass bag to talk for an hour on gentrification.
Yes.
That's what we're doing. Nobody needs to memorize nothing. You need to do nothing, bro. Take 5 pictures that you feel address gentrification for your neighborhood. Then
Mm,
we're gonna come into this circle and like creatively talk about the tools that I've used to like not die with all this art poisoning my neighborhood when this is what we love. It's like and you hear the trauma,
yeah. Yeah.
right? Because I know you and I can let that bitch out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if not, there's a super guard up. There's a super guard up because I'm like, wait, hold up. ¿Qué es lo que te quiere?
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of kilo he's selling? How
Mm,
much baking soda it got? Because I already know for 10 years, it's just a number of probability. For 10 years, you've been selling me wrong numbers, bro. So I already know the next number might be, it's a high chance that it's wrong.
right.
That when I get a good one, I'm like, yo, when I got confirmed this shit with New York Theater Workshop, I had to get up and go hug my mama and be like, yo, niggas is paying how it weigh, mama. You
Yeah.
might not even remember this anymore in 10 minutes, but your son got what he said he wanted.
Yeah.
For the fucking first time in doing theater since 9 years old, Rachel.
Yes.
Traveling, doing this bitch.
Yeah.
Adapting Shakespeare for neighborhoods all over the fucking world.
Yeah.
And still you're offering me $2,000 to dance, bro?
Mm. So what did you tell? That's like a good place because I know we are like near our time, but like what did you tell New York Theater Workshop that they said yes to that you wanted?
Uh all the talks and all the development, all the coloring books for the community through COVID, all the steps that are needed right fucking now. Yes,
Mm,
the theater show will happen in the car. You will get the taxi cab plate. But now let's figure out all this other shit before we dance with each other and enjoy this moment and so much pain that's happening around us.
mm,
And they were like, yeah, let's fail forward. But first let's have all these meetings because nigga, that's a lot of weird shit that we're not used to that template. And I
mm,
get it because it's a new template. Uh, let's question it because it's also new.
mm,
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just creating art like everybody else out here. Having fun with a couple of books I read about a certain topic and geeking out about how can I show you that creatively.
mm.
That's all we're doing, every single one of us. Some of us have a better lexicon because they grew in America. Some of us don't. And because of that, we're getting judged. And like New York Theater Workshop heard my lexicon, have visited every single one of my workshops without me even knowing. Linda came through and is like, oh, no, I was there. Oh, no, I was there. I'm like,
she's at everyone.
Look at you, silent killer. Look at you, silent killer.
Yeah, totally.
And then sent out the email when they knew they was ready to like court properly. So I'm just like, little institutions, respect yourselves and learn how to do development, bro. And stop trying to like present. Stop trying to get a New York Times article, man. Take care of your artists. Like, and nothing else. Everything else is just for the okie doke.
That's a good last word.
Thank you. And thank you for asking me all of this, because an OG like yourselves, I know you've been through the ropes.
I resonate with so much of what you were talking about, and including the moment of like, this is what it costs, and respect the process.
Yeah.
And this is what you get for that money. All of it. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You're ready. Can't wait to get in the room back with you.
I know. Soon enough. But not soon enough.
Yeah. But it's okay.
Yeah.
We're doing other work that is needed to fix this other shit that's been that hasn't been treating us right when we've been keeping so many people woke.
Ashe.
Yeah. Love you.
I love you.
Really fun, Victor. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.